What's up, sneaker fans? Thanks for tuning in to a More Than Hype review, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at a pair of Air Trainer 1s. I'm actually pretty excited about this one because it's been about a year since I did a review of the SB variant of these, but today, after all these years, we finally are getting a re-release of the Air Trainer 1 in its original Chlorophyll colorway. So let's get right into the video, starting with the packaging. And this is where the fun begins, taking from the past design of the Nike box, or the original Nike box, we get this here. So instead of our usual sportswear box where we have the infrared with the white Nike, we have just this plain orange top, and then we have this gray bottom here with these stripes. And this is very reminiscent to what the boxes looked like in the 80s when the Air Trainer 1 first came out. So, Nike likes to pull from their past or their heritage, and they've done that here with the box. And I think they also use this with some of the Air Hirachis that came out in 2020 for whichever anniversary that was. But orange on top, gray on the bottom, and then on this side we have our label. And I have to kind of squint because of how small the type is on this. Official name of these, Air Trainer 1. Official colors, white, black, and medium gray. Just like the SB variant, these actually don't have chlorophyll, and I've kind of compared the two, and the shade of green is just totally different. It is what it is, though. Style code for these, DM0521100. Far as sizing goes, 8.5 is my true size in Nikes. I wear that in Air Max 1s, in Air Jordan 1s, in Air Force 1s, I wear a size 8. I got my 8.5 here, and I like the fit. I will say, because they are an Air Trainer 1 and we have that rubber outrigger that's on the side, that sort of restricts how much the shoe itself can, width-wise stretch. So in that sense, it is a little bit more narrow, just something that wide footers should take into account. This is, of course, men's sizing, so the size conversion in Nikes is always 1.5 sizes up, so this 8.5 in men's will be a size 10 in women's. And that about does it for the label. So now let's take a look at the shoes themselves. We open up the top. It's just a flip lid here. We have some white paper, but then here are the shoes. And I gotta say, man, this is one of my favorite Nike retro silhouettes. And I'm so glad we finally get a re-release in this OG form. But let's get both pairs out and take a closer look. Now we got these out the box, let's take a closer look, starting with the upper. And I'm glad to say, this time around we got a pretty decent release. Last time we saw the Air Trainer 1 in this original chlorophyll colorway back in 2012, or I want to say 2012, the quality of those was really bad. And that's just something that everybody agreed on. But this time around we get some decent materials for this OG colorway. Starting with the overlays, we get a gray nubuck material here on the heel area. Same material for the quarter panel. Black Nike swoosh. We have our top eyelet with a little hit of that chlorophyll green. And if that shape of the top eyelet looks familiar, that's because they are very similar to the top eyelet of the Air Max 1, which also happens to be designed by the same guy, Tinker Hatfield. So, little fun fact for you there. Moving on, we have some more of that black leather here. We have our strap, which kind of looks like a leather material, but it is a synthetic with a sort of rubberized finish on top of it. Another hit of that green in that Nike. More of that smooth nubuck in that gray material. And then moving on to our medial side. And this is my favorite half, or the better half in my opinion, of the Air Trainer 1. It's kind of like getting two shoes in one because the design is just completely different. And I always just thought that was really darn cool. So looking at the medial side, we have this perforated quarter panel in this smooth white leather. So more of that gray nubuck going up the eyelets. Another top eyelet in that green color. And then moving on to our heel, we have our nubuck piece here with our Nike Air embroidered in our chlorophyll green. Some more leather around the collar. And then, yeah, that's about it. Looking at our toe box here, we get some perforations here. And a little bit more of that nubuck material at the bottom of our tongue. These come stock with flat white laces, no extra set of no extra set of laces with these, but I saved the last thing because it was kind of interesting. We have our Nike patch with our Air Trainer at the bottom in that accent green color or that chlorophyll color, but these come with actually a leather tongue. Now that's different from the SB version, which had a fabric tongue, and that's actually something that I prefer. With the leather tongue, these feel much more boot-like in my opinion, but looking at pictures of the original, it seems like leather was actually the material they used at that time. So even though I prefer fabric more, the leather material here on the tongue is actually staying more true to the actual or the original release. So, you know, that's something that's actually pretty cool. We have our tongue with a little bit of piping around in white as well. And the inside of our shoe, or the back side of the tongue, some more of that green color. Same with our sock liner, Nike Air, in black. And then the rest of our lining is in a white color. That about does it for the upper here. Now moving on to the midsole outsole. We can have the, you can't really ignore, huge outrigger here. This was supposed to be the first of its kind type of shoe, the first cross trainer. Back in the 80s, I guess people would change shoes depending on what activities they did, which is kind of funny to think about now because who does that? But they did that apparently in the 80s, and this was a innovation to have one shoe that could do everything. So to facilitate the multi-sport thing, we have this outrigger here, EVA wedge so for our cushioning, and there should be an airbag in here as well. I'm not sure if it's a full length or just a heel, or a heel and a forefoot unit. I doubt it because it's just so thin here. It's probably just a heel unit. But it has this very distinctive black line that goes around the whole entire midsole. And I just always really like that. It's a very simple thing, but I think it does a really good job in breaking up the midsole and the upper here. And I don't think it would look the same without it. Really important, but just that little line that's painted on does a lot for the shoe, in my opinion. And then we have our outsole here, the majority of it in this white material. And as you can see, again, it's supposed to be a cross trainer for multiple sports. So we have a pivot point, multi-directional traction, really thick grooves here, almost lugs really. And I said this in the SB video, I'll say it again, a freakishly small Nike logo on the bottom here, which is pretty refreshing considering how much branding, how many logos Nike wants to put on their shoes these days. Little baby logo there before they were into the whole oversized logo thing. And that about does it for these. I think this is a really nice release. I've said it before, this is probably one of my favorite retro Nikes in my favorite colorway. But the best part of this release, in my opinion, was just the amount of pairs that they released. These were $120, and for that price, the quality, I think, is justified. Or the price is justified by the quality. But something magical is happening in the sneaker game, and it's that you can get these on sale. And a lot of shoes are being much more available, and I think that is so important, that they're actually available and attainable. Sure, these came out last year in an SB variant, but that was an incredibly elusive pair for me. It was an ISO release, in-store only, and I had to get my pairs from overseas, which was really annoying. But with these, you can actually get them on sale now for under retail. This is a part or a piece of sneaker history, and you can get it on sale now. So, you know, with that in mind, I'll probably double up, and if I can snag another pair for a really good price, I probably will. And if you want a pair, if you also want a piece of sneaker history, then you know, I suggest you get a pair too while you can. So that's about it for this one. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you found this video helpful, and subscribe for more sneaker content, and I'll catch you on the next video.